Hi everybody. We are in the loveliness of my glamorous bathroom, as you can see by the background. How you doing? Just felt like coming in just for a little bit and having a little bit of a chit chat. Shall we talk about imperfection? Shall we talk about the insecurities of imperfection? Now, Pamela Marie sent me this makeup, which I'm going to use, and some of my own makeup as well. But this is not what this video is all about. I love the divot, the dent at the end of my nose. I don't know where that came from, it's just there and I deal with it. The crepe paper of wrinkles underneath my eyes. The kind of a reddening, you may not be able to tell, but I'm sure when you see me outside you see it. The reddening kind of a skin mustache right here. So I said, well, I'll just put some concealer on that. And then right around the mouth, on the bottom here, the darkened areas. Do you know, even the most beautiful of models has insecurities? You may see a woman during a photo shoot, she's got the fan blowing on her very luxurious hair. She has all her yes people around her telling her how beautiful she is. She's standing in front of some sort of advertising information behind her on the red carpet as they yell her name. Such and so, turn this way, such and so. They're all yelling her name. And after a long media frenzy of people chasing her down the street, she goes home to her condo, apartment, or home, removes her makeup, puts on a sweatshirt and some comfortable sweatpants, goes to the fridge, into her freezer, and gets some Haagen-Dazs and a serving spoon. And eats and cries, thinking she's very unattractive. Sometimes the most beautiful of people are the loneliest people. And sometimes a man is intimidated to approach the beautiful. I got a little pink, let's see, can I do it right? There's like a little freckle or mole. One side of my face, one side of my body is bigger than the other. I think I call this my good side, and this is my not so good side. Doesn't really matter to me. Aren't we just grateful to have sides? So basically I'm just putting on the CoverGirl on top. Like I said, this isn't a makeup video. It's a video about our insecurities, our imperfections. If you're insecure, it came from somewhere. Somebody said something. I think it gets even worse when we send our children off to school. Then the comparisons begin. The comparisons of skin, hair, Then comes the popularity contest. Who's the most popular? Who are the boys paying the most attention to? You see what the world calls the nerdy kid sitting all by themselves at the lunch table. I would encourage parents to encourage their children to go sit with him or her. All right. Phase 1 of fake face has begun. I call it fake face. Yes, I do. We all know that the face that the public sees is not the face that we wake up with each and every morning. Okay, so basically after that, I kind of sprinkled a little powder at the bottom here. This very plain looking makeup applicator. And then once the liquid goes on, I seal the deal with a little bit of powder. I know I'm probably not doing everything correctly. This is a sad, self-taught makeup application. Remember the 80s? I used to put eye makeup in 3 different stripes with ending it with very white here and almost black there. Bozo the Clown would have laughed at that face. Yes, indeed. I was always very awkward. I was, in high school, I was always the tallest girl. The tallest girl with the squarest hips. Yeah. I wasn't blessed with my mother's hourglass figure. But someone told me one day when I got a little bit older, girl, why don't you just work with what God gave you and just keep it moving? So if you're running around with square hips or wide hips or belly hanging off the front of you, just work with what God has given you. If you choose to want to work out and do something about the belly, then go ahead on and do it. If you choose to stay the way you are, then work with what God has given you to the best of your ability. The ones that truly love you, they love you, not your lips, not your skin, not your car, what you have and what you don't have. They love you. Now that's what you call a real friend now, isn't it? What's a real friend? What's a real friend anyway? I think that's the one that you can call about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning when you're afraid, when something awful has happened, when you've had a rough week. Perhaps your coworkers are treating you like crap, and you want to go back and get to the comfort of a real friend that understands your quirks, understands your tics. They understand you. I've said this before. I asked my son when he was about, I forget how old he was, 9, 10. I said, son, how many best friends do you need? 2, 3? Came back the answer kind of innocently. I said, just 1. Maybe 2. Got a little lip gloss. 1, maybe 2. That is the one that you can call. That is the one where you can describe something that you've done they're going to tell you the truth. If it was wrong, they're going to tell you the truth. A real friend tells you the truth. And then a real friend is going to give you a hug at the end of the conversation and say, don't you do that again. Love you, don't do that again. We've all tripped up. We've all made mistakes. That's why there is the word perfect in the dictionary, which is a standard many of us can't meet. And there is the word imperfect, which is what I am. See, the stains I was telling you about, I put a base of a gloss to soften, because like I told you before, sometimes when I just put only the stain, my lips feel like a shriveled up prune after about 3 hours or so. So I try to put a lighter colored base of a gloss, and then the color that goes on top would be darker. I looked at my last video where I'm sitting outside or walking outside. I'm looking at all my wrinkles, and my hair goes automatically back to froze status when it's humid. It just shrinks to my head, gets all curly, wiry, and crazy looking. And when I played it back, as many of you do, you play your videos back as you're editing, you're looking at yourself, deciding what to take out. I said, you know something? It's not what I look like. That's the point of talking about that. It's what I'm saying. So stop worrying about what the world would call imperfections, and accept and learn to love yourself. It is Father's Day. Yes, it is. And I have the El Cheapo brow liner. I've been shaving them lately. I finally grew back that piece that I cut off. I'm sitting there going, without glasses. And then I think I'm looking cute. My eyebrows are looking cute, and I look in and I got half an eyebrow. Ever done that? So basically, they're very thin right here. I need to grow these things out. I really do. And so I just I sharpened the pencil. Nunu, the hair diva, sent me this sharpener sometime last year. And so I just try to, I don't know what I'm doing. I have no clue as to what I'm doing. You just sort of, you're going in the direction of the hair. And I remember my mother told me the story when she was young. I think she was in her 20s and she had just gotten married. And so she's looking at all these glamorous women in magazines. Back then it was Marlene Dietrich, Joan Collins. Remember Joan Collins? No, not Joan Collins. Joan Crawford. Joan Crawford. Remember her with her caterpillars? Her caterpillars, as we all jokingly say. And so my mother says, wow, that looks pretty cool. So what does she do? She goes into the bathroom and she shaves off her eyebrows. And then she pencils them in, but she pencils them in a semicircle, but up into her forehead. So she would sit by the window waiting for him to come from work. I'm talking about Gilbert, my sister's father. My sister's and my brother's father. So she's waiting for him to come home. She's sitting there like this, thinking she's gonna get some special accolades for looking so glamorous. She's like this in the window. And he looked at her and his eyes widened. And he says, grow your eyebrows back. You look like you're scared. You're running around with a cemented, frightened look on your head, your face, because your eyebrows are up like this. Oh, so many stories she told me. It'll just make you laugh. All right. And I got the little El Cheapo brush, and then I kind of, when I'm brushing, I'm actually swiping some of it off. Isn't it amazing? We apply lipstick, then we take some of it off. We apply this and take some of it off. If we had back all that we took off because it was a little bit too much, we'd probably have a third more makeup. If you ever hear me hesitating when I'm talking, it's called menopause. Menopause. The definition to me, men, oh, pause before you approach that woman. Anywho, I got too much on that side. Yep, what did I say? Anywho, the lighting is awful in here, but this video is for conversation purposes. I thought I would turn this on while I was trying to put my fake face on. Imperfections. I think we will work with what we have and just keep it moving. Not worrying about another person's opinion. What's the saying, ladies? Never let another person's opinion determine who you are as a person. Learn to love yourself because I love you. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.